size of me. The size of me, Ciprian Bud.
Have you ever thought that the concept of problem defines our existence as human beings? The quality of our lives depends upon how many problems we overcome. And the only difference between a poor and a successful person is the size of the problem that breaks it down. Mr. Contest Chair and fellow Toastmasters, why is that every time we want something in life, like more money, more love from family and friends, better health, we tend to receive them at first as masked opportunities that we call problems? I started to believe that without problems in our life, our evolution as a species would have not even begun. We would not be where we are right now. This Toastmaster Conference would have not existed, at least in Romania, if a group of young people wouldn't have faced a common problem: public speaking. I remember when I first faced a big problem in my life: my father-in-law. We all know that the relationship between a groom and his father-in-law is special. What was special now is that it was the special day of the week when he was, by all standards, absolutely drunk. I was spending my first night to my girlfriend's house, knowing that he will not be there. He's a big man, full of surprises. And that night, I was really surprised by his early return at home. Now, I had two choices: to face like a man, or to hide from him like a chicken. Quite unexpectedly, I chose the third option and ran away like a rabbit. When I returned, wet because it started raining, he shared with me all sorts of ways of how my life will end if I wasn't serious with his daughter. Now, we started talking about very important subjects like money, politics, the wedding. But through all this table topic session, he said something that caught my attention. I know that you're scared of me since you ran away, but you should know that you can tell the size of a man by the size of the problem that breaks him down. I was speechless. For days, I couldn't stop but think at what he told me that night and how true it was. But the days became months, and life ran its normal course until another problem came into my life. Only this time, it was about my health. This happened a few years ago, when from a normal cold, I started to suffer, and I felt my lungs useless for the first time. Now, I can remember what my mother-in-law and her girlfriend grasped the gravity of the situation. Let's put some blankets on him to sweat the cold out, said my mother-in-law. I could barely breathe while asleep bent on a chair. And imagine now with 3 blankets on me sitting on the back. Of course, my mother-in-law couldn't resist telling me, "Ah, you're pretty like me when I gave birth to your girlfriend." After this, I got very serious, and I had to take him to the hospital with the ambulance, where I found out I experienced my first asthma attack. While I was waiting for the doctor, I was thinking, what a bright idea had my mother-in-law to suffocate me with her blankets. After a few minutes, the doctor came in and said, "Son, I have good news and bad news for you. What do you want me to tell you first?" "Are there good news?" I asked. "The good news is that your mother-in-law hates you." "The bad news is she hates you so much that she tried to kill you." The doctor was angry because he was preparing me for worse. I found out this was a health condition that can be cured, only kept under control, like my mother-in-law. I received a new body to carry with me everywhere, that helped me take care of myself and not let my mother-in-law take care of me. I also had to pay attention to not get a cold, to stay away from smoke, cats, Mothers-in-law? But what was worse was that I had to quit going to the gym, the place where I grew physically and mentally strong because of this health condition. From that point forward, I felt like the whole world was ending. I felt like I had to live in a bubble where nobody and nothing could touch me, especially my mind. But while all those negative thoughts were flashing in my mind, one question appeared from nothing that changed everything for me. Is this the size of me? Immediately, I remembered the thought of my full of surprises following me. There it was, big like a mountain, sitting right beside me and saying in words of wisdom.
You can tell the size of a man by the size of the problem that breaks him down.
I found out that when a problem doesn't break you down, it lifts you up. If my father-in-law didn't surprise me that night, maybe I would have quit going to the gym. Maybe I would have met the problem that broke me down. And maybe I would still believe that my mother-in-law cares. A few years have passed from that, but many problems have revealed themselves as massive opportunities for me. And one simple question. Is this the size of me? Ladies and gentlemen, life was meant to be lived, no matter what happens in it. And you can run from your problems. You can face your problems.
Or you can meet my father-in-law in his special days to give you some tips.